Welcome to the Expert in You Showcase, the show where we bring you quick, powerful conversations with elite entrepreneurs and other professional business experts to share their best strategies, secrets, and tips to help you have more success in your business and life. I'm your host, Carden, and this show is brought to you by Expert in You, where we empower professional entrepreneurs, business owners, and experts to become influential figures and celebrities in their markets and add 6 to 7 figures with more ease. Discover a game-changing secret that attracts leads, qualifies them effortlessly, warms them up for your offer, and hands them over ready to say yes. We want to make closing deals for you a breeze. It's time to stop chasing clients and consistently fill your calendar with highly qualified conversations and sales opportunities every month. Increase your influence, impact, and accelerate your income and strategies that work. Book your business accelerator call with me now at acarden.com and let's map out your next step. Today, my guest is Craig Booth, and I'm really excited to have Craig. He's the founder of Channel Force. He's a sales consultant, an entrepreneur, and he has been doing some great things out there in the world. And I want to talk to Craig because he and I have been kind of connected for a few years now, and I've watched his transformation in his business and all the things that he's been doing. And so I'm really excited for him to share what's going on, what his best insights and strategies are for you to give you some juicy nuggets. So Craig, welcome to the show.
Yeah, hey, thank you so much. I'm super excited to be part of the show, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit about what I do and hopefully provide some advice for everyone else. By the way, with your intro, I'm sold. I thought that was fantastic. I'm already in.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. So Craig, let's dive in a little bit to what your background was before you started your consulting company.
I spent 30 years in technology sales. I've been all over the map in sales. I've been a direct sales rep for half my career, had a really strong performance background there. Half of my career has been in partnerships and helping people, build better performing go-to-market organizations. So I've got a diverse background, and that brings a lot of interesting frameworks and interesting, experiences to the mix. And I try and bring all that together into what I do as a consultant.
Fantastic. So who do you mainly work with in your business today, Craig? Who makes a great client for you?
I work with clients really of all sizes. I've got some really interesting clients. Most have been in the security and networking space, which is what my background and pedigree has been. But I've got clients that have been in the medical space. I had a client that took pig manure and was able to tell you how much biofuel they could produce out of it. I mean, I've had some really interesting clients over the last few years, but I've been primarily in the technology space.
Okay, great. Now we're going to talk a little bit about some of the challenges. In fact, you and I were having a little bit of a conversation around this with kind of the changes in tech really in the last year and a half we've seen. So we'll dive into some of those because I like to keep this real. I like to share challenges, wins, best strategies, and just kind of talk that through so that we are giving people just really juicy stuff here. So Craig, if we look at even a couple of years ago, before sort of things happened in the tech world, how were you getting your clients? What was your best way? And then what were you actually doing with them? Were you working with the CEOs? Were you working with the teams? What was sort of your format?
Yeah, I think most of us probably follow a very similar format, which is we leverage our network for referrals. I think that's still probably the strongest way for us to go to market. I haven't had tremendous success just blindly emailing or doing those type of things. But when you do a good job for a client, and you ask for references and you start to leverage their network and vice versa, that the concept of leveraging the reach of others to sort of bring you into the fold is, I think, a really powerful, process. And, if everybody, that's listening to this, if you sat down and you started scoring your relationships, so if you took all of your LinkedIn connections and started looking at which ones are strategic relationships for me, which ones do I just have direct relationships or referral relationships, maybe just email relationships. They've signed up for my blog, but I don't really know that person. We start to get a feel for the network that we have and the value of that network, and it gives us sort of strategies on how we leverage that network to get clients. So that's the process that I've used, is sort of going in and working through my network and then continually trying to grow that network through a referral process.
So when you're talking about that, and we're really talking about, relationship building, are you doing any kind of automation? Are you putting them, you mentioned your blog, are you getting their email address? Are you capturing any kind of information from them? Or what's sort of your marketing strategy?
Yeah, that's a great point. So there's some work that I probably need to do on that front, but I do a couple things. When I have an automated outreach tool on LinkedIn,
Okay.
and I'm always out running connection requests for specific personas that I sell to. I've got a nice little drip campaign that goes through that, but I'm not. I guess one piece of advice that I would tell everybody: we always make the mistake, or I shouldn't say we. Many people make the mistake of trying to make a sale through an email campaign or through LinkedIn. And I don't ever do that. It's always about creating value for the person on the other end. So I'm always building connection requests and then dropping people into the blog that I put out. Just saying, hey, here's a free resource. It's got lots of great information. I give away lots of secrets on how to structure your performance in a way that's creates predictable revenue growth. And I usually get about 10 people a week that sign up for the blog. And then through that process, I'm then reaching out to people after I've established credibility, I've established a relationship through the blog. Then I'm leading people into a training, or I'm leading people into something else that eventually leads into a consulting engagement. So it's a long, sort of drawn out process, but it's focused on their value and what I can deliver for them, not what they can do for me.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, we are in a value-driven world. So when you say they're signing up for your blog, because I want to give people like real insights here, takeaways. Are they giving up? Are they giving you their email and their name so that now they're getting into your email database, or how is that working?
Yeah. So, and this is where I was saying I probably need to improve a little bit. I do everything on LinkedIn. So I haven't been capturing their email and going outside of LinkedIn. I have a system that allows me to reach out through LinkedIn and use InMail and use the mail system there. So, and I found that to be fairly effective when I have.
So you're kind of nurturing on LinkedIn.
Yes, I'm
okay,
nurturing.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Versus, going outside. Now I've run Apollo and I've run other email campaign. And I've got a whole system for, how to build, the compelling email and the objection handling email and the offer and, all of that. I've gone through that process. I haven't found any difference between running the email campaign versus the LinkedIn campaign. So I felt like, just to simplify my life, I will work with LinkedIn. Now, for the audience, does that mean that LinkedIn's better than an email campaign when it's structured right? No, not at all. It's just what I found to work for me.
Yeah, it has to be a customized approach for everyone. And yeah, I would love to add to that as a takeaway for everybody. One of the big mistakes people make in their marketing is they kind of do a cookie cutter approach, and that is not the way to do marketing. You need something that's going to really work for you, for your business, for the people that you're trying to reach. If I'm trying to reach a coach, for example, the process is going to be very different from trying to reach a high-level CEO. And so if you don't understand that and you don't put the right things in place, then your marketing's going to fall flat. It's not going to work for you. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So as far as your blog, you're just giving real value. Now, are you driving them to anything from your blog? So you're getting them to your blog, and then what's next? What's that next step?
Yeah. So as people sign up for the blog, I have a welcome to the blog email that goes out, and I'm attaching a couple of, or at least one PDF that explains, who I am, what we do, the kind of value that we're out positioning. So signing up for the blog then sort of gives me the permission in my mind to go and kind of market a little bit about what I do. Again, very low pressure, because
Sure.
everything is about value,
Mm-hmm.
across the board. And then from there, as people have been in for a little while, there's usually a follow-up, message that comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the blog. I'd love to meet with you live sometime, learn more about your business, kind of share some of the things we're doing with people in a similar space. And then I'm kind of building social proof through that. And then through those conversations, it usually turns into getting somebody into training, or, occasionally I build a sales play for people, or,
Mm-hmm.
every once in a while there's a fractional engagement that comes out of it. But that's the process. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
building awareness, creating value first, doing the right things for people on the other end. And that seems to be working well for me at this point. So
And who is so when you're getting people to your blog, who are you actually trying to target for that? Is it CEOs? Is it VPs of sales? Like who are the people you're trying to go for and get to your blog? Because if you're trying to go through people, a lot of times that can be a long process. So are you going right to the
yeah.
source, inviting them, and then inviting that value?
Yeah, so I'm typically going after VPs of channel. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
after CROs. I'm going
Okay.
after senior vice presidents of sales. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
within specific markets that I focus on. And then I also do go after just general channel account managers and partner managers, just for training purposes, those type of things. I
Mm-hmm.
have offerings that people can sign up for that
Hmm.
you know
Okay.
are
So
not
more of a low value. When I say
yeah
low
yeah
value, I'm talking about price wise.
yeah.
More of a low ticket or low value offer that you can sell. Okay, cool. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for really getting into the weeds with us and the details. So from the blog, then are you inviting them to another training typically, or like once they're in your email, are you inviting them to another training, maybe a video, a book? What is there another process, or are you mainly just inviting them to a call at that point?
I'm inviting them to a call at that
Okay.
point, but I actually sponsor at the end of the blog, where
Mm-hmm.
I'm always putting in stuff about, a book that I've written, or a training that I've got coming up.
Mm-hmm.
There's always things that are kind of giving people something else about what I'm doing. And by the way, I just started doing something else, which is putting in client testimonials. So as people have gone through
So
my training,
powerful.
and are
Mhm.
going through experiences, with Channel Force, I would rather have them doing all the messaging about what I'm doing, as opposed to
Mhm.
coming from me. Everybody expects me to say, "Oh, I'm doing great things," right? But when I have clients that are doing that for me, it carries
Mhm.
obviously a lot more weight. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
systematize that, for lack of a better term. And as
Mhm.
I'm taking people through the latest training that I've put out, I'm asking them to put out posts. I'm asking them to give feedback on what they're
Mhm.
seeing, and that seems to be working really well as well.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, social proof is so huge, and it's we're in a world where people are very jaded and skeptical, and so all of those things just help to build value. Craig, so what have been some of the greatest challenges that you've seen, maybe even in the last year or two, in business? You talked a little bit about the tech thing. Let's dive into that, and then I would love to talk about kind of what you did in that situation or how you navigated that situation. So, what would you say that has maybe been for you?
Yeah, so that's a that's a long answer question, but I'm going to
Okay.
try and yeah, I'm going to try and shorten it here.
Yeah.
So I think this is something that's going to probably resonate with everybody, and that is that the buyer's journey has changed,
So much.
and the way that people are evaluating and consuming content, technology, making
Mm,
purchase decisions is quite a bit different than what it used to be.
hmm
So I saw a stat the other day that I think is pretty accurate, which is 72% of millennials don't want to talk to a sales rep at all. And those are the folks that are kind of moving into power. We're seeing more,
hmm
even, older generations, right? We're getting clouded with too much information, and so we
hmm
tend to shut down to that information, and we want to
Yeah.
just do the research and figure things out on our own. So
hmm
to me, that's the biggest sort of stumbling block that's out there. I mean, I've got some really amazing stuff. I've got some some new ways and new approaches to, structured performance. I'm adding, a RevOps-driven model to partnering that nobody is seen, that's delivering amazing results. I have a whole market that could use my solution set, but getting to the right person, for them to be able to filter through all the nonsense that's out there,
Right.
that's the biggest challenge. And so this is where I go back to, leveraging relationships. I think everything is a recipe. There is a foundation. We have to build awareness. We have to do marketing. We have to do market development. But where we're going to win is through selling. And I've got to build that whole process to say, hey, here's how I build awareness for what I do. Here's how I create value. Here's how I develop the market. But nothing's going to replace sitting down and having a one-on-one conversation, understanding your pain point, and then explaining how I can create unique value to solve that. So
who's that perfect person for you, Craig? So when you're talking about that, like, who would be that person that you would love to be able to consistently?
The person that has a big pain that I can solve is the perfect person. But I know that's a little facetious, but
well, it's kind of broad.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very broad. No, you know what? It really is, for what I do, it's any kind of revenue leader that is, either sales or partner sales focused, that wants better performance out of their partner ecosystem, wants better attribution, wants a lower expense with better performance. This is kind of the outcomes that I produce with the model that I have. So those are the folks that I'm out targeting and having conversations with.
Hi, friend. I have an exciting announcement. I hope you're enjoying this episode of Expert in You podcast, but I have to ask you, have you checked out the latest issue of Expert in You magazine yet? It's jam-packed with rich content, powerful strategies, inspiring stories, and so much more to help you elevate your business and personal growth. Don't miss out. Go grab your digital copy now and join our community of experts making a difference every day. Go to expertinyoumagazine.com and check out your digital copy today. Transform your expertise into success with Expert in You magazine. It's not just a publication, it is a movement. I have a question for you. So I've worked with people that are in sales consultants, and one of the things that they have found challenging is a lot of times when you have people that are like in VP positions or leadership positions, they don't really want to always work with somebody because it almost makes them feel like they don't know what they're doing, or they're not efficient at their job. I would love to hear how you kind of navigate that.
Yeah, by the way, that is so spot on across the board. So I always use this analogy. This is kind of the analogy that I use. All of my clients, they are race car drivers, and they got to the position that they're in because they're really good drivers. They know exactly what they're doing, and they don't think that somebody like me, what they think of as of a consultant is that I'm another driver that's going to come in and tell them how to drive. And I always tell them, no, you're missing the boat. I'm not a driver. You're a better driver than I will ever be. I'm a mechanic that's going to add 300 more horsepower to your car.
Oh, that is so good. I love that.
And that's how you got to think about what I do. And so when you start to kind of spin that and say, look, I'm going to work for you, just like the driver in a Formula One race, the whole pit crew works to help that person achieve their goal. I'm just a member of the pit crew that's designing your car to run faster.
Yeah.
I'm not here to take your job. I'm here to support you so that you can win. And that's
I see a new brand coming up here.
Oh, I like it. So, but that's the analogy that I use.
Yeah, it's so good.
And it starts to kind of put people at ease because they realize, hey, you know what? And it's also a way to sell, because this is the other thing that I always tell all these people. I want you to pick any athlete, Steph Curry, Michael Jordan. I mean, go down the list. They all have a shooting coach, a swing coach. There's always somebody that isn't the athlete that they are, but they have the ability to look and diagnose.
Yes, they have the expertise and nuances and details.
Yes. And that's exactly what I do. And by the way, just go to our personal lives. How many people have a trainer? at the
Sure.
gym, or have a dietitian or a
Mhm.
doctor, or, I mean, you go through the whole list of things. We always
Yeah.
use experts. But why is it for our job we feel like we can't use an expert? Even the
Yeah.
CEOs have experts.
100%.
Right? So it's
In
not,
fact, smart people have experts. That's just
yes,
the reality. People that are highly successful and very smart and savvy, they already know this and they get this. And yeah, they're not so ego driven that they don't ever think that there's not more or that they can't do better.
yeah, and I would throw this out, even, where I'm at. I've got a lot of really good IP that I've developed and built, but I didn't develop it
Mm,
on my own. I had lots of great conversations, lots of smart
sure.
people, lots of people that help shape the vision of what I'm doing. I have two or three people that I rely upon all the time to help shape what I do. And what I've learned is to have no ego. I put
Yes.
something out, and if I have people that say, "Hey, this is trash," I'm like, "I got it." I don't take offense to it. For me, it's just like, all right, that's another way for me to not do what I'm trying to accomplish. Now I'm
Yeah.
going to go and take some advice and move it forward. So we all need coaches,
100%.
across the board.
Yeah. I just paid um, a lot of money to close one little gap on a strategy that I was using because it wasn't working like it used to. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And I invested in a really high end coach. And I said, find the blind spot, like dissect this and figure out what's going on here. And he did. And when he fixed that one little thing, it was like turning a different screw. Everything just exploded. And I mean, that's what you have to realize. It's like, oh my
Yes.
gosh, the opportunity you're missing when you don't have somebody that's guiding you in these areas. And so I love that. I love the race car analogy and the driver metaphor that you used. I think that's so good. That's so true. I hope we opened somebody's mind up today around the value of working with someone. It's not weakness, it's strength when you
It,
do
it
that.
is, and we have to. The other thing we have to do is we have to move away from a scarcity mindset, and
Yeah,
that's another
100%.
part of this. To say, boy,
Yes.
what's it going to cost me to do this? It's not
Yeah.
really what it's going to cost you; is what am I going to gain from doing this? And
Hmm.
you've got to flip that equation and make investments. And for you
Yes.
and for me, as entrepreneurs and doing our own thing, sometimes it's hard to write the check. Sometimes it's hard to say, you know what, I'm going to put this amount of money in developing something, and
Hmm.
if this thing fails, I'm out, 10,
Hmm.
20, $30,000, whatever it is, out of my personal money, right? But we all have to think about do I believe in what I'm doing? Do I
Hmm.
really have something that's impactful? I know I do. I've got to invest to make this thing happen.
Yeah.
And you just have
I
to.
don't even think it's hard to write the check anymore, but I've been doing this for 34 years and even in recessions have expanded my businesses and put everything on the line, our home, everything. And so to me, it's kind of like a muscle that you work. If you went to I always use this kind of metaphor. If you go to the gym and you do some bicep curls, one time you like 10 reps, you can't say, ooh, look at the muscle, right? It takes a lot more than that. So to me, getting over sort of the fear or the investment thing, understanding that
Yeah,
you're investing in your success, you're investing in your future. And when people that are highly successful think like that, it's like, and they don't even also always look for an immediate return. They're also willing to sometimes prolong the return just because they see the vision of what that could do for them and where that can go. And so when you start thinking like this, you were talking about, we have to start thinking bigger and expand our mindset. It's so true. And once you do that and you get really used to it, everything does move you. Everything moves
yeah,
you. And so once you do that, you kind of build that muscle and it's not that big of a deal anymore. Because money is made to be, it's a tool and a resource. That's it. And
yeah.
you can't
Agree.
multiply it if you're hanging on to it too tight. And so that's the money side of things, but there's also the mindset side of that a lot of people don't realize. That mindset of it's too hard to do this or whatever is also the thing probably holding them back from having what they
100%.
want.
100%. And by the way, I can raise my hand and say that was me, a while back, right? And then,
Mhm.
to your point, it is a muscle that you have to exercise,
Yeah.
and you get
Yeah.
better at it, and you make wiser choices, and
Hmm.
the investments tend to pay off as you go.
Yeah.
So
And you sometimes you also, even though you have a vision for where that's going to go, you don't really know where that's going to go. I said, 16 years ago, I paid a coach several $1,000s to teach me how to kind of market online. And, I mean, I barely knew how to send emails at that point, because that was just kind of coming onto the scene, email marketing. And it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. I ran a webinar and she ran ads on Facebook and all of this. And, after 90 days of all of that, I made $600. It was pretty devastating at that point. But I had no idea I'd be teaching people online marketing and how to get clients online and build their business online all these years later. I mean, it moved the needle for me, even though I didn't see the whole bigger picture. And so nothing is ever a waste. I always believe that nothing is ever a waste. The skills you learn, the strategies you learn, it's all knowledge, it's all experience, good, bad, it all helps and it all moves the needle forward. And it's a process, it's a journey. And so if you look at it, so I always feel like highly successful people get that. They look at it that way. Some things don't turn out quite the way you want, but you never know where that might go. And I think that's keeping that open mind too can really help people be very highly successful.
Yeah, totally agree. I know that this is an overused, comment, but Thomas Edison, I think he failed 900 times to build the light bulb.
I don't even know how many it was anymore. But
I don't know how many it was either, but
it was a lot.
That somebody asked him, how does it feel to fail 900 times or whatever it was? And he said, I didn't fail. I learned 900 ways not to build a light bulb, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of the mindset. And, I try and adopt that with what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
But also, be smart. That's the other side of it, right?
Yes.
Place calculated bets.
Yes. No, that's true. Yeah. You don't make stupid decisions, and you have to do things in the best knowledge and the best wisdom that you can. But I think that's great conversation. So Craig, give us your best, if you can, your best sales tip. Like if you had to sales in a nutshell, what would that be in the marketplace today?
Yeah, so that's an interesting, comment. My best sales tip is always, understand the buying motivation of your client. Always do your best for your client. Mm-hmm. Your currency is your reputation. Mm-hmm. And if you take care of your clients, you do the right things for them. I don't try and sell people. What I try and do is lead them to the right solution. And from there, you end up with repeat customers. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just be authentic, and it's okay. Walk away from a bad deal. Don't try and force something just to make a sale. Be in it for your customer, and they will take care of you in the long run. And that's
I totally agree.
Best, advice across the board.
Fantastic. What's new for you coming up in 2025? What are you excited about? What are your big goals?
Yeah, so I have a couple things, and not to just pump my solutions and my products. So
pump away. That's what you're here for.
Yeah. So I have a couple things. So I have a mastering partner source revenue training that I have the first cohort that is going through that training right now. I've signed up a couple of clients actually out of Australia of all things. I'm at 6 o'clock at night training people over the last few nights. But I'm super excited about that because we're doing some things very unique. Part of what I do is I do revenue planning. So I have a tool that will take your quota, and I'll answer as we'll define your solution sets. We'll define a structured prospecting process. We'll define a couple of things, and it'll spit out all of the metrics that you need to hit the numbers. So it'll tell you how many partners you need, how many active sellers, how many target account engagements, the quarters that you need that. So we take that plan and then we turn around and we build our go-to-market plan around the metrics. So we start to resource those metrics, we build sales plays to go after things, and then we capture that prospecting activity and display it in a RevOps dashboard. So I have tools and training that align around that methodology. It's quite different than what people are doing today, but it produces amazing results, and it fills in the gap between the traditional sales execution and the outcome. We now have all the visibility to what we're doing in between. that produces that outcome. So I'm really excited about it. I've got some partnerships that are adopting some of the tools that I've gotten developed. I've got people signing up for the training. So that's what's new for 2025. I'm hoping to really, springboard off of the latest book that I've written and turn it into something really meaningful for the market.
And what's your book?
The book is called The Partner Powered Revenue Revolution. So I don't know.
Nice.
Show that.
Whoops, bring it a little closer
There
to
we
the
go.
camera. Yeah, there we go.
That's the latest book. I've got a
Perfect.
couple of them out, but that seems to be doing really well as well. So that's the story.
Cool. I love it. I love it. So your big plans, what do you need to accomplish your big goals for that?
Everything is always market reach. Everything is ready to go for me right now. So I have tools that are built. I have all the training done. I'm out with a handful of clients delivering it today. I've got a set of consultants that are, backup for me for overflow of deals that are fully versed in the methodology. So right now it's just about, gaining more customers, getting more mind share, getting more visibility to what I'm doing.
Very nice. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you would just like to share real quick, Craig? And we'll make sure that we put all those links and everything in the show notes so people can grab your book. They can connect with you. They can reach out to you, all of those things. But anything you want to share and wrap up today?
My only thing I would share is I just really appreciate you. I appreciate all that you've done. You've got an amazing brand, and
thank you.
I'm super excited to be aligned with you, and anything I can do to help you, I'm fully on board. So thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was such a pleasure having you on the show. Even though we were off to a funny start, that's a whole nother long story. We're not going to go into that, but it's been great having you on the show. All right. As we wrap up, I want to thank everyone for tuning into Expert in You Showcase. Have an amazing day, everyone. Share the show, and God bless you. Bye-bye.
If you are ready to attract high-paying clients like clockwork, build powerful influence and scale your business with ease, let's talk. Book a complimentary $1 Million Accelerator Strategy call at acarden.com to discover how the Expert in You method can help you create a steady stream of premium clients and consistent revenue growth. Don't wait. Your next big breakthrough starts with a simple conversation. Visit acarden.com and let's make it happen. Have an amazing day, and God bless you.